What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz. Reading the WBN article that Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz Jr. heavyweight pay-per-view eyed for 2021. Here's the details. World Boxing News understands that former world heavyweight champions Deontay Wilder and the returning Andy Ruiz have the makings of a blockbuster meeting in late 2021. Long-reigning WBC ruler Wilder and ex-unified king Ruiz Jr. are Al Haymon's premier top division stars, but are currently out of the picture. Losing to Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua over 3 months from 2019 to February of 2020, both are yet to get back into the ring. Haymon has already arranged Ruiz to battle Chris Arreola in April, potentially on pay-per-view to build Mexico's first ever heavyweight champion onto the United States platform. Wilder is already there, having fought 3 of his last 4 bouts on the box office level. Therefore, Haymon can build Wilder versus Ruiz this year, provided they win their comeback outings in the spring. Ruiz has to get past Arreola and look good doing it. At the same time, the Bronze Bomber is rumored to be fighting Charles Martin or Robert Helenius in his comeback in May or June. The 2 triumphs then lead nicely to Wilder versus Ruiz Jr. by November or December at a world-famous venue. The WBN also believes that the fight could be a final eliminator for the WBO. Okay, Fury and Joshua, of course, they're locked to fight each other for 2 particular fights. And if Fury wins the WBO, whatever happens in battle, Haymon, he will relinquish that title, the WBO. And then Haymon would need to pull off some miracle, though, to snatch a belt for the contest. Alexander Usyk and Joe Joyce are at the head of the queue for the WBO. But the WBO could be where the eliminator lies. Okay. Andy Ruiz is ranked number 4. Deontay Wilder is ranked number 9. Okay, what does that mean? It's still going to be a tough shot, okay, because you have Parker, which is 3rd. Then you have Alexander Povetkin on the WBC side. But then also when you jump back on the WBO, you have, who's there? Alexander Usyk, okay? Usyk and Joyce, okay? So you have Parker 3, Joe Joyce 2, and Alexander Usyk 1. Now, those guys are battling out for a final eliminator. So the thing is, those guys would still have to get past the winner out of those 2 in order to see the WBO. Now, the WBC is off because Alexander Povetkin would be the first in line for that honor. Now, he has to fight Dillian Whyte in order for Dillian Whyte to have an opportunity to get it back. So that's the WBC obstacle, the WBO obstacle. So what's left? The IBF, right? And the WBA. Now, whoever wins and they have to relinquish both belts or whatever, or that belt, the WBO, would still be a unified champion. Okay, so whoever keeps it, and I know Tyson Fury, he's already said he doesn't really even care about the belts like that, because in Tyson Fury's mind, he feels that he is the champ regardless. He doesn't even feel that, hey, I'm just a WBC champ. He says I'm the lineal champ and the Ring Magazine champ, and I've had all those belts before, and I never lost them outside, or should I say inside the ring. So how can you dethrone me? Okay, so that's his argument. So with that being said, I don't see how these guys will have the opportunity to fight for a title. I don't. The only thing that I can recommend is somebody go on and take on Trevor Bryant, the WBA regular. That's the only way that someone is going to become a champion. Okay, because if all else fails, these guys could fight each other. They need each other, honestly. I think Andy Ruiz and Deontay Wilder need each other more than anything else, but I don't know if Al Haymon really wants to deal with that, because Al Haymon is a businessman, and he's a shrewd businessman. So I don't think he's going to just put his 2 top heavyweights on the line like that. Now, he's building them, yes. He may cash out because one, winner takes all. I like the title Road to Redemption. You know, they're both on the redemption list, my own personal redemption list. So looking at these two, they're with the same outfit with Al Heyman in the same stable, so they should fight each other since they both took losses. Okay, so and if you think about it, December of 19 and February of 20 ain't far apart. Okay, that's what, 3 months? So they lost it around the same time. Both were champions, and then all of a sudden they weren't. Now, this road to redemption, I think whoever wins could brag and have moral bragging rights to plead for a fight with whoever, because it won't really be a lot of people left at that point. But it just depends on Wilder, and it depends on what route they want to take. But then again, who's going to fork over the money? You know what I mean? Because if Wilder wants half, and based on the accolades and the things that he has, you know, he's a proud man, you know, and he feels that he's done enough to get a certain percentage, that's going to come into play. Now, if Tyson Fury beats Joshua both times, he's going to have to deal with Fury. If Anthony Joshua ends up being the victor, he's going to have to take on Anthony Joshua. But the thing is, now the cat's out of the bag. We know that he was offered more money. He admitted it to the world that he was offered more money than Fury, but he fought Fury anyway. Okay, so that may hold some weight. Maybe. Because when he was on the Brian Custner interview, it seemed like he was still talking the same thing. Like, hey, yeah, you know, they just trying to save face or whatever. So I think the egos have to be set aside in order for those guys to fight. Okay, and you know, and you have to understand, if he wants the WBC belt back, he's going to have to fight whoever the winner is. If he wants to be champion, if any of them wants to be champion, because Eddie Reynoso is working Andy Ruiz and whipping him into shape. Okay, I did a video on him like a few hours ago, so he's getting there. He's not there yet, but he's getting there. Okay, so those guys are both working. I don't know if Wilder is working. Maybe he's in training in private. Who knows? I think that's the best kind. You know, don't let anyone know what you're doing. Just get it done. You know, but as far as Helenius and Charles Martin, I heard Wilder say that it would more than likely be Helenius. He said Helenius at the very last, you know, Dillian White, Ruiz, then Helenius at the end. So take that for what it is. I think that would be a very good fight because it would just get these guys out of the way. So whoever loses out of these two guys, it would it would definitely separate the level of opposition. Okay? So I still wanted to see Ortiz fight Ruiz. That would be a good fight, but Ruiz didn't want that fight. You know, and then that's a whole nother question. If he has a tune-up with Areola, will he even want to fight Wilder? You know, but again, this is the WBN projection. This is not anything that's set in stone. This is just a projection. It's an interesting one. You guys tell me what you think about this projection by the WBN magazine. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.